Hi, I'm Dion Parson, and welcome to this week's episode of Sounds of the Diaspora, Artist to Artist, a conversation with Dion Parson. I'm really excited tonight. We have a special guest visiting us today from Switzerland, and this is someone that I've met in 2019 on a project that he called me to come and perform on with him. And we've been friends ever since. We've been discussing music, we've been performing, doing projects, and I'm really excited because he has a new project out today, and it's doing really well. And I just want you guys to hear what's happening with him. Join me in welcoming today Mr. Samuel Blaser.
Hi,
Hi, Samuel. How you doing?
I'm okay, and you?
I am well, man. Thank you, thank you. I know there's a time difference. I'm here in St. Thomas. You're in Switzerland. I thank you for staying up tonight. Being a musician, I know it's not that much of a deal, but thank you for staying up tonight and hanging out with us, man. How you been? You good?
I'm okay, thank you. Thanks for having me. It's great. I'm happy to be here.
Good, good, good. So there's a
Yeah.
lot of things going on in your world, but I want our audience to hear a little bit about who you are. So let's go back to the beginning. Talk about you growing up musically and your experience in your environment.
Well, I grew up in a very tiny town in Switzerland. I mean, not so tiny. I mean, 40,000 people. It's kind of
Mm.
tiny, but it's big for Switzerland. Okay. So I grew up there and I started playing the trombone at age 9. Went to the local conservatory and studied classical music. And but I always wanted to play jazz. I started playing in local bands at age 13, and yeah, I did my teaching diploma there, and
Okay.
then I went to Paris to study privately with a French trombone player who used to play with Steve Coleman. His name is Geoffroy de Mesure,
Okay.
and then I I was at the conservatory in my hometown and I saw a little yellow paper saying, "Do you want to study in the U.S. and win a Fulbright grant?" And I say, "Well, I don't know what it is, but why not?" So I just started applying for the Fulbright,
Hmm.
and I thought I would never get it because I was not expecting to get it, and I got it. So I won the Fulbright.
Can you explain what the Fulbright is for our audience?
Yeah, so the Fulbright is a international program that offers foreign students to study in the U.S. and vice versa. I think it offers also U.S. Citizen to study in Europe or elsewhere around the world. So and it depends in which country, but they offer a certain amount of money, and and then um, and then you can study. For me, in the U.S. So
Okay.
yeah, so that was a big surprise, and then I moved to New York in 2005, I think. Yeah, exactly. And I lived there for 4 years. I studied at SUNY Purchase with Jim Pugh and John Fetchuk, and um, and then I moved to Berlin after that because my visa was over. I had no money left, and I think money was the biggest issue, I guess. And so I moved to Berlin, and I lived there for 13 years.
Okay.
And 2 years ago, I moved back to Switzerland. Actually, during COVID, because in Berlin, my wife and I built a family, and it was extremely hard to live far away from our family during COVID. So we decided to move back in Switzerland 2 years ago. So I'm back in my hometown. I don't know for how long I will be here, but for the time being, it's a good place to be.
Good, good, great, great, man. So it's really interesting growing up in Switzerland, moving to Paris, coming to the US, and then going back. And I know you have a number of projects that you're working on with different artists. And and that's kind of what you're known for. You're very versatile on the instrument, and you do a lot of different things. But we met through your Cosmic Dawn project,
Right,
and
exactly.
right, and that was something that caught my attention right away, coming from the Caribbean. And Ira Coleman, a good friend of both of ours, bass player, reached out to me and explained to me that you were working on this project, and there was some tours and some gigs, and that's how we met. And ever since then, it's I must say it's just been really amazing just working with you and seeing the music evolve to the level that it has evolved to, and the musicians that you've brought together. So can you talk to us about the Cosmic Dawn project?
Yeah. So I mean, it's a long story because it's a long it was a long adventure. I mean, it's still a long adventure. I mean, it's like an ongoing adventure, I must say. But so going back to New York, like when I moved to New York, a friend of mine gave me a cassette, you
Mhm.
know, the the
Yeah,
tape. I
I
mean, I
remember.
have
What
LPs
happened to all
behind,
of
but I mean,
those?
I know what you know what it is. But he gave me a cassette and he told me, listen to this when you're over there, and don't forget about his sound. And it was a tape with Don Drummond sound on it, only
Okay.
Don Drummond. So I started listening to Don Drummond in New York, and it was a nice. I was on on the roof of my house in Brooklyn, looking at the city sky in New York, and the skyline. And I was listening to Don Drummond, and I was hearing the melodies, and I was like, "Wow, this is incredible music." And yeah, I felt in love with that music in 2005. I mean, with Don Drummond's, because I used to play reggae already back then. I mean, earlier. So, and then I played a bunch of different music from 2005 until 2019. But I met Ira in 2018. I think we played a little trio tour playing standards with a drummer. And we started speaking, and I told him about my my fascination for Don Drummond, and he said, "Well, you know, Samuel, I play with Ernest Ranglin." I was like, "What? You play with Ernest?" And
Yes.
then we started talking about that, and I said, "You know, my one of my dream would be to build a tribute band to Don Drummond, or like playing tribute to Don Drummond and to our own thing, or like something like that." And he say, "Well, you should. There is someone you should meet in Switzerland. His name is Alex Wilson." And Alex became he was the keyboard player of Ernest Ranglin, where Ira also played with. And
Mhm.
Alex started being my the artistic director for this Don Drummond band. Um, and then Ira told me you should call Dion on drums. So that's what I did. And then I got that one gig in Tampere. Yeah, so in Finland. That's where we gave our first performance. And the way I got that gig in Tampere was also a funny story, because I played in 2018 with Oliver Lake on alto sax and my quartet.
Mhm.
Russ Lassing was on piano, Jerry Hemingway on drums, and Masa Kamaguchi on bass, Japanese who lives in Barcelona. And after the gig, I talked to the promoter and I said, uh, "Yeah, we shared our love to for reggae music." And he said, "Well, I'm currently recording an album as a reggae singer. Do you want to record some trombone for me?" And I say, "Well, of course, I will do it for you." I did it for free, but with only one idea in mind, is that I could submit another project for the following year, which I did. And he said, "So what can I do for you?" And I said, "Can I bring a reggae band next year for you?" And he said, "Yes, sold." So that's how this this Don Drummond thing came alive actually. So
Great,
so in
great,
2019 we played a premiere. Yeah.
great. So I know our audience is wondering who's Don Drummond. So Don Drummond is one of the co-founders of the Scatolites, which is a reggae band out of Jamaica, a very, very popular reggae band. They were actually the foundation, laid the foundation for ska, reggae, dancehall, all the things that one drop, all of those rhythms that came
Rocksteady.
afterwards,
Mm,
rock steady, all of those things, and what I like about this project is that you you really captured the essence of the music, but it's really fresh. It's connected to again the sounds of the diaspora because when I hear this project, and I'm just gonna say this, when I hear this project, it sounds like it's a project that came straight out of the Caribbean. So it's something that
so
I
we
can.
succeeded.
Yeah, exactly. It's the sounds of the diaspora, and that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on the show because our
Right.
audience is a very vast audience, and they're all over the world. We're streaming everywhere, and there's people in Europe that may not ever heard ska, but then when they hear this tonight, because they may be a jazz lover, and that connection to jazz may bring them into the element of that. So, one of the things that again I felt that you captured was the essence of paying homage to the foundation of the music, the roots of the
Right.
Caribbean, but adding the melodic component and the harmonic structures because a lot of the Caribbean music, the harmonies is limited to certain fundamentals, but this really goes somewhere, and the musicians that you have on this project is really phenomenal. It's amazing, and that's the other
Oh,
thing that I was impressed with when I showed up to the first rehearsal. I was like, okay, this is an all star cast. Let's have
I
some
mean
fun.
that was something I really want to have. It's like great jazz musician who loves Caribbean music,
Mhm.
and so that was really the key. I wanted to have great improvisers. So we had like Soweto Kinch on alto sax, who's
Mhm.
like a second generation from Jamaican parents, but who lives in Birmingham. Michael Blake, he's Canadian on tenor sax, but he's been playing reggae all his life. And
And jazz.
yeah,
Mhm.
and jazz, of course. Alan Weeks, who's on guitar, who's a bit unknown, but who's a major guitar player in London.
Mhm.
And Ira, who's been playing with Ernest and Monty, and you, who's been playing with Monty as well, and Ray Anderson, who's one
And
of my favorite one
yeah.
player,
And Ernest. I
and
actually
Ernest,
I
yeah.
recorded with Ernest on that project we did in Senegal. In Search of the Lost Rhythms with featuring Baba Mile and his band. That was a project that
Oh,
Miss Ira and I went to Senegal and we recorded with Baba Mile. That was the first recording for Palm Pictures Records when Chris Brown
yeah,
sold
yeah.
Island Records and he started Palm Pictures. That was the first. It was a collaborative project. Ernest Ranglin featuring Baba Mal. I was a drummer on that project, and Ira was the bass player. So Ira and I
Wow.
have we've been through the trenches.
Yeah, and Ira told me you should call Dion. He's like a really serious musician. He loves that music. You will get along with him, and that's what happened. So I'm so glad that we did that together. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And so I know after we finished that gig in Finland, we came back and everybody was excited, and you were talking about this project, but then COVID hit. And
Well, yeah, that was
yeah,
right before COVID. I mean,
right.
yeah,
We're supposed to
yeah,
meet up in England, and then COVID hit, and then I remember getting a call from you saying, "Hey, man, I really we got to figure out how to do this project. Is there a studio on the island?" And you started sending me tracks, and that's kind of how we figured it out. Everybody
yeah.
did their thing wherever they were.
It was. Yeah, we were supposed to hit the Steve Winwood studio in the UK. That was my initial plan, like fly everyone to Cheltenham
Mhm.
and record live at Steve Winwood studio. But then with COVID, we had to figure out. I mean, we didn't know when COVID would be over, so I thought, I mean, I have to record the music somehow. So yeah, we started sending stems around, and starting with you on the drums.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You were the first, and then adding guitar, keys, horns, and then the bass at the end. Yeah. So
Right, right,
the first few tracks were like I mean, it was a real nightmare. I mean, Alex and I spent hours at his studio in Zurich, uh, editing things. So so we could feel that the band was organically playing
right,
together.
right,
So
right,
that was the most challenging part of the recording. Is like, you know, because recording online could be so sterile. Sterile,
right.
you say? Yeah,
Sterile,
yeah,
sterile,
yeah.
yes.
And and also we could feel that musicians are unconnected. So yeah, so we had to give directions to each musicians, and sometimes have them re-record, you know,
Mm-hmm.
because it wouldn't fit the vibe, or wouldn't fit the energy,
Right,
or
right.
yeah. So
Yeah, one of the things I did behind the scenes was I had a number of conversations with Ira. So before, when I got the track, because there was some kind of like suggested tracks along, and I would call Ira, I'm like, "That's the bass line you playing?" He's like, "No, I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna do this instead because now that I'm more comfortable with it." So we had
I
a
didn't
number of
know.
yeah, we had a number of conversations about just laying the groove down. Certain songs I would push a little bit, and he would play behind. The songs that he was a little bit more busy around, I would lay down the track a little more solid so he can be more open, and so like some of like I think is I Had a Beautiful Better Lives or Rainy Days. There's a really melodic bass line.
Oh,
That's
Rainy Days.
Rainy Days is really beautiful. Yeah.
You know, I wrote that bass line, and I thought Ira would record something else, and he he actually played that exact same
Exactly.
line. I was like, "What? Why? It's
No,
so
but it's
hard."
killing. It's kill. It is. It's like it's like a classical bass line. The way it's arpeggiated and but
It
we
is.
talk about that. Those are the conversations that we had because Ira and I, for playing with Monty Alexander for many years and Ernest Ranglin. One of the things we did, especially with Monty, the way he worked out with us, like Monty would have rehearsals with just me and this is what I want to hear from you. And then he would have conversations and rehearsal with Ira, and then
Oh,
we get together and sound check. Our rehearsals were really at the sound check, and he would talk to us as a group, but he would talk to us individually. And I learned so much from Monty about just the foundation of the rhythms,
I
and
can
then what I learned
imagine.
from Ernest was the historical content because Ernest was there from the beginning, from the Scatlites all the way up. So Ernest brought a lot of historical content to the table as a band leader, but Monty actually we just basically played those grooves, man, from steppers to rockers, one drops. It was really great. So Ira and I had this. We would finish a gig and go to one of either his room or mine and just talk about the grooves to make sure that we're laying it down right. So that kind of happened behind the scenes. I'm not sure if you know of that, but we had a
No,
lot of
I
fun.
didn't know. But that's great to know. Yeah, and Ira is someone who's like really dedicated to the music, and once you get into something, then we could rehearse for hours. I mean, yeah,
Yeah, great,
it's
great. Well, talking about Rainy Days, man, you mind if we play it?
no, we should.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We're talking. I know everybody's saying, man, just play the song, play the song. So let's just jump into some of this music.
Rainy day, The hands of time still turning, and the birds still sing their morning songs. I'm counting the hours and the days. It's been so very long. You've gone, yet you're still here. Your memory, my reverie. Rainy, rainy days when I think of you. The clouds disappear and the sun shines through. Rainy day, how can I be lonely when you hold me each night in my dreams? Shadows dancing so slow and so bitter, bittersweet. You've gone, but you're here. Your memory, my reverie. Rainy, rainy days when I think of you. The clouds disappear and the sun shines through. Rainy
Very nice, Samuel Blaser. Rainy days.
It's good to hear that. It's good to hear it. Like speaking to you and now hearing it and I I hear everything what we did, yeah, like during the recording process. So it's like it's really good.
Good, good. I'm glad you're enjoying
Yeah,
it.
it means that we worked well. It's okay.
Right, exactly, exactly. And like you mentioned, I know it's been a labor of love, and I know the conversations we've had. But what I like about this song, it really connects to the sounds of the diaspora, the whole Caribbean component of music. It's some reggae reggae in there, some one drop. There's some steppers in there, some different grooves. We have this
Lovers rock.
Lovers Rock, Carol, that's
Mhm.
her specialty, and
Right.
she's just amazing. She sounds beautiful. And I remember when you sent me this track, it didn't have a scratch vocals or anything on it. So I kind of did it originally without the vocals. And then we talked about it. He said, yeah, it's gonna be a sing. And I was like, wow, man, there's a sing on this. I was playing all this other stuff,
but
when there's a
uh,
vocalist, you have to do it a little differently.
but on that one, I think you recorded the drums first and re-recorded the drums last. Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah, exactly.
Right, because that's
Which,
when I heard the vocal stuff by the very end, and it
yeah,
was so many things that yeah, yeah, yeah. But it came out beautiful, man. This is one of those things. So let me ask you this. So speaking of the sounds of the diaspora, the Afro-Caribbean diaspora, and you being influenced heavily by Don Drummond and other Caribbean musicians, how do you
yeah.
see your music and your connection to the diaspora?
That's a great question. But yeah, I, f- I mean, it's I don't know how to respond to that one. I mean, it's funny because I feel like I'm playing that music just for the love of doing it, you know. So I mean, it's really something I'm passionate about, and
Yeah.
I really want to play that music. So I
Mhm.
think that's the way I'm connected to it. Yeah,
Great. Well, it's obvious. You wrote this song, and it really connects to the element of, like I say, it sounds like a song I would hear any day on the radio here in the Caribbean.
I mean the way we wrote that song is I wrote the bass line to
Hmm.
Alex. I mean, and the general shape of the song, and then
Hmm.
Alex added the intro, the outro, and I arranged the horns. Like I think the song was full of horns, and then we cleaned all the horns because it was way too much.
Hmm.
Because Carol was singing, and there were so many horns lines
Hmm.
that we couldn't hear Carol at the end. So we
Hmm.
cleaned everything, and yeah, and Carol wrote the melody and the lyrics, and that's how that song came up. And it was really the sake of writing a lovers rock with jazz vibe and reggae influences, and I think it really succeeded. I
Yeah,
mean, yeah.
it really worked. It really worked. I'm really happy for it. I must tell you, man, it's really been um a pleasure listening to this from the tracks that they were recorded and you were sending them back to us. This is something I was like, yeah, I saw the project coming together and it made sense. And just the ideas that you have is really great, and everybody did their part. So Carol is amazing, and I know you had some other special guests on the project and stuff, and we'll talk about that. But the album is doing good. Is what label is it on?
Well, it's released on Enya in Germany. I mean, it's like Enya East called. Yeah,
In Inja label.
Enya. Yeah, I mean, you say Enja, but I think it's Enya, whatever it is called.
And
Yeah, yeah.
it's getting some good traction. It's getting some good traction, so that's great.
Yeah,
Can
we
you
got
tell us?
plenty of great reviews. Yeah, um, we got amazing reviews all over the world. The Guardian gave 4 stars, and Downbeat, and we also got a special award from Germany called the Charles Platten Critic Award, which is like it's basically like the Downbeat Critics Poll, but a German version, and they select the best records um, every year,
Hmm.
and Roots won the world music category
Oh.
this year. So that and it's in the ballot for Grammy nomination. So I'm crossing my fingers for to get to get nominated. I think we'll get an answer like beginning of November.
Hmm.
And it's also in the ballot for the German Jazz Prize, which is I think it's at the end of this year as well. So let's see. I mean, plenty of things happening around, and raising attention from various festivals around the world, and hoping to get more shows. I mean, it's not easy because I'm I'm known to be someone who's performing avant-garde jazz, contemporary music, classical. So I'm not really known in that sector, like playing Caribbean. So most of promoters are a bit surprised hearing that music coming from me, because they didn't know the love I had for that music.
Right.
Nobody knows the that I recorded with Lee Perry and Dennis Bovel and Onu Okuhara. I mean, I did so many sessions for so many amazing reggae players, but as a sideman, so they don't know.
Right. Well, that's why this is important, and I felt that you would be a great guest on this platform because of this. Because again, once you invited me to come and perform with you, I didn't know either, and and I was like, okay, this is great. This is great. So the album is getting some good traction, and there's some good things happening. And so let's hear another song. I think our audience would enjoy another song, and I think we have up next Chronicles. Can we play that one?
Yeah, yeah, that's a great one. It's a blues kind of.
Hmm. All right. So Chronicles it is.
You're here, so you tell it. Come on, feel Drumming. For sure, for real. So I tell
Another great number.
Yeah, a lot of energy. I love that. Yes, sir.
Yeah. You know, when I started writing the music for that album, I didn't want the album to be like a regular tribute band to Don Drummond. I didn't want to play only cover songs, and so it was for me. It was very important to write original music. So I started doing a lot of research about Don Drummond as much as I could. I mean, because there are not so many information about him. He was a very mystical person with
Mhm.
a dramatic ending. Yeah, he was ill, and but so I was looking at all the music that he could have listened to as a child. So I listened to mystical music from Jamaica, and discovered that amazing recording. It's an archive. I think it's called Mystical Recordings from Jamaica. So it's like recordings from choirs, church music, and I
Mhm.
heard that priest singing, and then the audience responding to him. And it's a little bit about that song, "Bo-do-dee-dwa-dee-do-do," and then the choir would respond, "Dwa-dee-do-do," you know.
Okay.
So
Sponge.
that
We call it
that's
sponge.
the
Yeah.
history behind that song. And it's funny because the melody is major and the bass line is minor, kind of.
Okay.
So it's like a bit crunchy, and
Yeah.
I really like the result of that one. And Alan Wicks is taking an amazing guitar
Great
solo.
solo. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, we tweaked it a little bit, so we got a little bit that Santana
Right.
sound in the end.
Right. Came
I
right out of you.
remember, yeah.
Nice sound. Yeah.
Well, we were mixing the track with Steve Winwood was in the studio, and we said, I think the guitar is missing something. Can we bring something a bit more crunchy about it? And then James, the engineer, just like put that thing, and and the guitar turned out to be like that rock
Yeah.
rock
It's,
solo, and it's kind of
it's what's needed is like rock and roll meet, straight up, reggae. It's really nice. I love it.
exactly.
Yeah,
And
yes.
then yeah, Michael Blake is taking the final solo like to the climax, and
Hmm.
then when we mixed that song, we were in the studio and we were like, I think the song is missing something. Just that little cherry on the cake that would bring the vibe. So I call Soweto and I say, can you do some singing on top?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
so that's what so that's what we hear during
Mhm.
the entire track.
Great, great. Well, it came together, man. It's beautiful. I'm enjoying this. This is, man, they're all my favorite, but I think I listen to this one on a regular basis. It's a good vibe. It's happy music. I come into my office
Yeah,
and I'm trying to, I put it on to get the day started. I'm like, okay, let me go teach these classes now. So I have that in my mind. It's really
it
nice.
is.
Nice,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, and it's really great how you connect. You have this connection to the music and the feel for it, and it really comes together. But that's a really great song. But what I really want to ask you now is Carol. How did you meet Carol?
Well, I mean, I met her a month ago, actually. Finally, I mean, live.
Yes.
But Alex and I I mean, we were thinking. I mean, at the beginning, we thought we would record only two tracks. Okay, so one track would be with a singer, and the other one would be like a trombone feature. It's called Green Island and features like a bunch of trombone players,
Mm,
which of Steve Torre, and then and Alex said, well, we thought about a lot of different singers, and he said, well, I know that singer. She's the queen of lovers rock, and I just started working with her. Her name is Carol Thompson. So I
mhm.
called her and said, do you want to be part of the project and contribute to a song? And she said yes. So that's how we started working together. And
Great.
she wrote the Rainy Days. She co-wrote Rainy Days with Alex and I. Yeah,
Yeah, great, great. And then she's singing on another song besides Rainy Days, right?
yeah. So the initial plan was to record two songs, so Rainy Days and Green Island, and then my initial plan was also to have those two tracks dubbed, and then have a 45 RPM released. But then when I listened to the results of Rainy Days and Green Island, I thought I cannot just stay there. I have to record more music. I mean, it's too good.
Mhm.
So we started recording more music, and I asked Carol to sing another song called "Beautiful Bed of Lies," which is another nice lovers rock, I would say, with
Great.
a touch of Latin thing in the B part. I mean, that's coming from Alex, who's like a salsa lover.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. She did a great job on Beautiful Bed of Lies. I think we have that queued up next. I would love to play that.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Never could say no to you, no matter how hard I try. So many times I've walked away, never again I'd say. Never could say no to me, no matter how hard you try. Never again I hear you say, well, here we are again.
Another good one, I guess.
Yeah, yeah. Carol sounds beautiful. That's really nice. Yeah, it's a great song.
Yeah, the same process from as from Rainy Days. I wrote the very basic structure, and then Alex and I worked the arrangement. We sent it over to Carol. She wrote the melody and the lyrics. And my main inspiration for that one was from Alton Ellis, who's like a
And Alice,
lovers rock. Yeah,
yes.
yeah, yeah. I really like that. Chord changes, move, and I mean very smooth and very nice. And then for the intro, I remember listening to Steve Turre playing with Ray Charles with a pixie mute.
Hmm.
It's like this. It's a mute that you stick in the bell, and then you play with a wah wah on top, wah wah, and you get that tricky Sam Nanton sound, like a typical
Hmm.
I mean sound. So yeah, that's the beginning, and then the Hammond you hear on that one is Steve Winwood's Hammond. We yeah we so when we mixed the album, Alex wanted to record the Hammond over there because Steve has 10 B3 at his studio.
Wow, 10.
10,
Nice. Yeah,
all in great shapes.
yeah, I can imagine. Can imagine. It's just a
Yeah.
warm, beautiful, just relaxing song that just makes you just feel comfortable all around. And the lyrics are, it tells a great story, man. Congratulations on another gem.
A great story that yeah speak to many of us, I guess.
I wasn't gonna get into it because everybody can interpret it their own way, but
All
yeah,
right, right.
I'm gonna leave that for everyone's imagination. But yeah, another great one. Some great songs here. Some great songs here. And you had some folks that worked in the studio with you, special guests. I know you mentioned Steve Teray. He did a special thing on one of the songs.
Yeah, he recorded some shells and some trombone, and you know, because I thought, okay, we are paying tribute to one of the greatest trombone player in the world that nobody really knows about because he had a short life. He never left Jamaica, except for one trip, I think, on a cruise ship,
Hmm.
and he thought he was one of the best trombone in the world.
Hmm.
He thought he was better than JJ Johnson. I love that story. I think
Hey.
JJ went to Kingston to hear him too, and I mean, yeah, he was a great. So I thought one of the track has to be I mean, it has to have lots of trombone on the track. So I called Steve, I called John Fetchuk, I called Glenn Ferris,
Hmm.
who used to be Frank Zappa trombone player,
Hmm.
and he lives in Paris. And Jennifer Wharton, who's John's wife, who plays the bass trombone, and I think that's it. And me. Oh yeah, yeah. I play. So one of the song has yeah many trombones on it.
Great, great. That's great, man. To pay homage to him that way, that's amazing. One of the other special guests you had was Lee Scratch Perry.
Yeah. So yeah, it was very important for me to pay tribute to the music the right way.
Hmm.
So I also wanted to get credits for it. So and to show that I have lots of respect for the music. It's not only like a European trombone player playing reggae, and so I wanted to have yeah as many people connected to that music as possible
Hmm.
who has like a history, a
Hmm.
background history with it. So Lee used to live in Zurich, and I did many recording sessions for him as a
Hmm.
sideman. So I called his wife. It was tricky, not so easy because I didn't really have her contact, and but I made it, and
Hmm.
then we agreed on dubbing two tracks with Lee, and he was back in Jamaica at his end of his life. He moved back to Jamaica.
Okay.
He bought some land and wanted to build a paradise over there, which he did, I think. And
Okay.
so he dropped those two tracks, and I thought I was wasting my money because I had to pay up front.
Hmm.
That was the deal, and I thought, okay, I'm not sure what I'm going to get, but I'm just going for it because could be okay, could be good, could be bad.
Mhm.
And then I received the track back, and I thought, wow, this guy really spent lots of time on the music. It's really amazing. And then I received some videos from Miri, his wife, and you really see him spending lots of time scratching his his beard and like trying to figure out what can I do with that music because it's probably not something he was used to do, like jazz and reggae. And so and then when he did that, we agreed on mixing and dubbing the entire recording. He passed away the following day.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. So
So
yes, that's too bad. But I remember when you told me that you had gotten him to work on some tracks, and then I heard the tracks, and I was like, "Wow, this is really nice." I know he did a Rainy Days dub, and then he did another one, right?
the Green Island. Yeah.
The Green Island, yeah, yeah. So, hey, let's listen to that Rainy Days dub. I think that would be nice.
Right. Yeah, we should.
Okay, let's check that out.
Rainy, rainy.
Dear John,
Shadows.
night.
You've gone, yes.
I shall repent.
Rainy, rainy days.
I'm gangster. We have the answer. How much respect? To rock. I
And the sun shines
Yeah,
Very nice.
it's good to hear all the work that he did. I mean, you know, like playing the two tracks back to back. I mean, almost back to back.
Mhm. Yeah, Lee did a great job with it. I mean, dub music. I remember when dub music came on the scene, and we would go to parties. When I was a kid growing up, and you'll have the DJ playing and all the echo chambers and all of that stuff. And
Right.
he was the purveyor of all of that, and he mastered it. And there's so many moving parts, but he was able to capture the essence of everything.
Exactly, exactly. It's really amazing. He cut things at the right moment, and you can hear that he spent a few hours on it.
Oh yeah, yes, it's
Probably
great.
gave him a bit of headache too.
Probably, you never know. You never know. But great project. Great project. Again, the album is called Roots, and it's
Right.
extension of the Cosmic Dawn project. And where can you tell our audience where they can find the CD or the music?
Well, I mean, it's available on all streaming platforms, of course, and it's probably available all over the internet, Amazon, and yeah, different shops if you want LPs and CDs. I mean, it's I think it's well distributed. I mean, Enya is one of the few last major recording jazz label available, yeah, here in Europe. So They are well distributed.
Great, great. So all the
Yeah.
streaming platforms, YouTube, Apple Music.
YouTube, Apple, Deezer, iTunes, Spotify, yeah, Tidal, yeah, everything.
Yeah, well, I'm really, really um, happy for this project. Thank you for having me on it. And I think again, thank you for
Well,
coming
thank
to the
you.
show, man. And thank you for paying homage to such a wonderful Caribbean icon, someone that the world doesn't really know about, but made a huge impact with the creation of the Scatolites, being a co-founder, and the music that he brought to light, and the influence he had throughout the Caribbean. Because I remember
Like Bob
growing up
Marley.
out of this music, and then really it didn't make sense until I got older. And you're doing an amazing job just paying homage to that music. So thank you.
Well, thank you. I'm so happy. I was able to do it. It's great.
Great, great. Any additional projects or updates you want to share with our audience before?
I mean, I'm so hyperactive. I have tons of things happening. I'm going on tour at the end of this week for a month, and I will be traveling all over Europe with two different projects. In a total different direction. I mean, it's like improvised music, avant-garde. Yeah, so I'm excited about that. And
Great,
then I hope I will bring that music all over the world very soon. Hopefully, yeah.
great. So listening to all of this music, I was sharing with you the story of just trying to describe Caribbean jazz and melding that together and what's happening. So we came up with a really wonderful world called Jazz Ribian. So the Roots Project and the Cosmic Dawn is now part of the Jazz Ribian connection. So
I like this jazz Ribian. Here they say skaz for ska and jazz.
Skies and jazz. Well, Sky is all part of it because the thing that a lot of folks, I think, are now starting to realize how influential jazz is in the Caribbean, and and the Caribbean music is now really starting to get exposure outside of reggae and calypso for carnival and stuff,
Right.
but it's starting to get a huge exposure, and your project is one of the contributing factors to that, and we're very happy to have you on Sounds of the Diaspora, artist to
Well, thank
artist.
you for having me. Yeah.
Yes, and we're going to continue to support. And it's been a pleasure having you. I know it's very late in Switzerland, but hey, you're a musician, so this is your this
It's
is your
good. I had coffee. I had chocolates. I think I could keep on now. I mean, yeah.
step and work on the next project, right? So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Definitely. Definitely. Yeah.
so man, Samuel, it's been a pleasure having you. Thank you for taking the time out of your busy schedule to sit and talk with our audience and share with us this wonderful project, Roots. You can find it on Enya Records. It's distributed on all streaming platforms. Go to his website, samuelblaser.com, and check out where he's performing. And again, thank you for your contribution to Jazz Ribian and the sound of the diaspora.
Thank you so much, Dion.
All right. All the best, man. You take care.
Hey, have a great day. I mean,
All right.
yeah, evening, I guess.
All right. Yeah. And that was the wonderful and talented and amazing Samuel Blaser presenting his latest project, Roots, to us. And I would like for I would like for you to come back next week and join me as we have a wonderful, amazing drummer, Obed Calver, with roots originally from Haiti. He will be joining us next week as our special guest. He has a lot to say. He's touring with the Lincoln Center Orchestra, amongst many other artists. So please join us next week as we have our next edition of Sounds of the Diaspora, Artist to Artist Conversation with Dion Parson. Thank you all very much and have a wonderful evening. Take care.